not from any pain, just the sweet familiar sorrow of washing in the rain. We're passing round a single glass, a toast to what has been, to the battles we lost fighting and the small forgotten wins. They're sweeping up the pieces just beyond the closing door, and we all know that tomorrow we don't come here anymore. One last song for the memory, one final soft embrace. There's a universe of feeling in this time and in this place. We'll take a photograph to keep, but the feeling is the art. The way we held together as everything fell apart. The music fades, the silence grows, but I can still feel the beat, a phantom pulse beneath my feet, so perfectly incomplete. The last note hangs and shivers, the final confetti quivers, moving through the end again and again and again. In my The engine is a steady hum, a promise to depart. The city's fading in the glass, a map across my heart. Every street a memory, every corner holds a ghost of all the things we were and all the things we loved the most. The mixtape in the passenger seat is warped and worn and old, a story of a summer in silver ink and gold. We'd sing until our lungs gave out to songs that felt like prayer. Believe that we were infinite without a single care. And this is the last drive home, a journey through the divide with the ghost of you beside me, where you always used to ride. The taillights bleed like watercolor, a slow and final fade, a silent moving picture of the life that we had made. The end of our time playing out on this highway stage. exits, like chapters in a book. The overpass we painted, the diner where we'd look out at the sleeping traffic and plan a great escape. Never thought we'd do it separately, a different time and shape. The radio plays static, a language all its own. It's saying what we couldn't in a quiet, hollow tone. I'm not running from the memories, I'm just trying to move on. Following the distance from the dusk until the dawn. One last look in the rear view, just a blur of me and you. The errors in the past, something beautiful can't last. The road ahead is dark and vast. The tide is pulling promises out to the open sea. The fire's crackling history for everyone to see. We brought the wood, we brought the wine, we brought the stories to be told, to keep us from the coming night, to shield us from the cold. They say the coast is changing, the maps are redrawn. This place we knew is vanishing with every passing dawn. So we came back to the shoreline where we first learned how to dream, to stand against the current, a single unified team. Sing until the fire dies and greet the morning pale. A final wild celebration, a last triumphant wail. Let the sparks write our names out on the canvas of the sky. We're not afraid of endings, and this is our goodbye. This is our stand at the edge of the world, and we're holding our heads high. We throw our regrets in the flames and watch the smoke ascend. For every broken promise and for every trusted friend. The music's just our voices, a ragged, hopeful sound, stomping on the solid but ever shifting ground. Let them say we were reckless, let them say we were fools for finding joy in chaos and breaking show. Dust motes swim in silver beams of pale and lonely moon. The orchestra is silent, but the song will be starting soon. A phantom hand is on my waist, a whisper in my ear. The ghosts of every party we ever hosted here. The velvet ropes are tattered, the wallpaper is torn. This hall has held 1,000 nights since the day that it was born. It's heard the pop of champagne, the secrets and the lies, reflected all our futures in its dark and glassy eyes. I'm swaying with the echoes in the ruins of our time. A waltz for what we've lost, so decadent, sublime. The record keeps on spinning, though the power's long since gone. A nostalgic loop of memory playing on and on and on. This is the final measure, from the dusk until the dawn. I trace the scuffs upon the floor, each one a memory. The night we met, the night we fought, the night we agreed to be something more than strangers, something less than lovers too. A complicated masterpiece, me and the ghost of you. Maybe I'm a ghost here too, tied to this decaying place, unable to move forward, to leave without a trace. We built this world brick by brick with hope and with design, and I can't tell if this ballroom's heart is its own or if it's mine. The song slows down, a silent crown of dust falls down on this ghost town. The last turn in this ghost town. start to fade. A gallery of who I was, a life that I had made. Each thumbtack hole, a tiny scar, a moment left behind. A universe of feeling in this bedroom out of time. There's a box for books and photos, a box for broken things, a box for all the ticket stubs and what the memory brings. I'm dismantling the scenery of a play that's had its run. The person that I used to be beneath the setting sun. I'm packing up the person that I was. A slow spin with a bittersweet and complicated truth, because every object tells a story, every shadow is a friend. It's not a final breakdown, it's a graceful, quiet end. A final turn around the room before I start again. The rain is washing windows clean, a rhythm soft and low. It's telling me it's time to leave, it's telling me to go. I found a note I wrote myself from 10 years in the past. It asked if I was happy, if the good things ever last. I'm not the same person who taped these pictures to the wall. I've grown and changed and stumbled, learned to stand up after I fall. And saying goodbye to this room is saying goodbye to a part of me. But it's the only way I know to become who I'm meant to be. The last box taped, a new world shaped. A key turns in the lock, a silent tick-tock. Time to walk the walk. The marquee let us flicker, one last cinematic sigh, spelling out a final film beneath a bruised purple sky. We used to come here every week to live 1,000 lives. Now the closing credits roll on, how a memory survives. The velvet seats are empty, but I feel the weight of ghosts. The laughter and the gasps, the lovers and the hosts of late night conversations, dissecting every scene. This wasn't just a building, it was a cultural machine. We're waiting in the lobby with the ghost of silver screens. The end of the time for the rebels and the queens. The projector's light is fading, sun is hanging low in gold, a final warm caress, a borrowed hour from the cold, a beautiful mess of red and yellow on the ground, a carpet rich and deep. The promises the summer made, the autumn couldn't keep. We're walking through the park we love, the air is crisp and thin. The season's holding its last breath before the frost sets in. We used to spend our days here beneath the canopy of green. Now the branches are preparing for a long and lonely scene. We're walking with the autumn leaves, a final swirling show, a celebration of the light before we have to go. The wind is a conductor for this bittersweet ballet, the end of a season in a beautiful decay, letting go of the golden age and turning to the gray. I catch a single perfect leaf, a star of crimson bright, a souvenir of vibrant days against the coming night. It's fragile in my hand, a map of veins and sun and rain, a tiny, perfect monument to pleasure and to pain. We know the spring will come again, a different shade of new, but it won't be this season, and it won't be me and you in the same way that we are right now in this Pacific light. So we hold the moment tightly, and we do it with all our might. The last leaf falls, the winter calls, the beauty stalls within these walls of memory, just for you and me.
The server message glows tonight, a final friendly warning. The world we built is shutting down tomorrow in the morning. A million lines of code and dreams, a universe online. And we're all gathering at the edge for one last pixelated shrine. We type our final messages, a frantic loving stream of inside jokes and memories, the fabric of our team. From avatars and blocky towns to raids and dungeons deep, we found
player crackles out a song from 45. The needle's worn, the vinyl's scratched, but the memory is alive. Your hand in mine is fragile now, but still a perfect fit, as the golden afternoon light through the window is softly lit. We don't need a ballroom or a crowd to see us now, just this faded Persian rug, a silent knowing vow. Every photo on the mantelpiece, a different time and place, but the constant in the picture is the love upon your face. We're swaying to the rhythm of the life that we have known, a quiet celebration in a world that's all our own. The steps are slow and steady, a familiar gentle grace, marking the end of a chapter at the closing of the day. My darling, we're just moving with the time that slips away. I remember our first dance, my heart was in my throat. You wore a borrowed dress, I wore my brother's coat. We were clumsy and uncertain, young and unafraid, and we're still those same two people in the quiet life we've made. The world outside is faster now, it rushes and it screams, but in this room we're sheltered by the substance of our dreams. This isn't an ending to be feared, it's a tapestry we've spun, a final perfect moment for two. When all is said and done, the song fades out. No doubt, no doubt, what love's about. The sun is low. Nowhere to go. I love you so.
The dust sheets fall like silent snow on easels standing bare. A decade's worth of color stains the floor and fills the air. I'm washing all the pigment from the lines upon my hand, a map of every painting that I ever planned. This room has been my sanctuary, my torment and my prize. It's seen my greatest triumphs and my ugliest of cries. Every canvas holds a secret, every brushstroke tells a tale of the artist I became behind this dusty, sunlit veil. I'm moving with the final quiet gesture to make the meaning clear. This chapter's getting painted out. The story's at its close, the end of a cycle, and everybody knows it's a bittersweet release, like a thornless dying rose. I'm taking down the sketches from the cracked and plaster wall. The first attempts, the failures, I'm remembering them all. They taught me more than masterpieces. They taught me how to see. They built the person with the brush that I turned out to be. The light is changing in the room. The shadows start to grow. There's a strange new kind of freedom in finally letting go. I'm not that artist anymore, the one who bled and fought. I'm someone new who's stepping from the lessons I was taught. The last jar's closed. A life composed. And now deposed. The key is on the hook. One final look. I close the book.
Are humming low and deep, a sound we know by heart. The posters on the garage wall are slowly falling apart. We're standing in a circle, just like we did back then, picking up our worn out instruments to feel it all again. Danny's moving out in spring, and I'll be gone by fall. We all got different futures writing on the wall. But tonight we're not the grown-ups with the plans and the goodbyes. We're the kids who made a racket underneath these suburban skies. This is our last rehearsal, a song with feedback scream. The final fading echo of a teenage rock band dream. We're playing all the old songs, the ones we wrote in vain, to feel the thunder in our chest and wash away the pain. The end of our youth in a 3-chord loud refrain. My fingers find the same old frets, a ghost of muscle memory. You're counting in the first verse, a ragged harmony. We're louder than we should be, for the sake of how it felt to build a wall of sound against the hand that we've been dealt. We don't need a crowd tonight, we're playing for ourselves, for the ghosts of who we were stacked on these dusty shelves. We let the final chord ring out and hang there in the haze, a perfect ring in silence to commemorate the day. Cranes are sleeping giants on the edge of our own street. But tonight we've got the speakers and we're moving to the beat. We strung the lights from window to window, a defiant starry net. This neighborhood's not history, well, not just yet. They're selling off the memories, $1 at a time, putting up glass houses for a culture that's not mine. But they can't buy the rhythm that is running in the stone. The history of the family's the only home we've known. So we're moving on the pavement, a protest and a prayer, with the scent of summer asphalt hanging in the air. A final joyful gathering before the wrecking ball, to show them that a community is more than just a wall. The end of our world and we're standing proud and tall. Mrs. Rosa brought the tamales, Leo brought the bass. There's 100 different stories written on each smiling face. We're a patchwork quilt of people, a fabric torn and frayed, but we're stronger here together in the music that we've made. Of these vibrant living scenes, we'll take the spirit with us to wherever we are sent. This gathering is not a surrender, it's a statement of intent. The music's loud, a rebel crowd.
The sky is turning from bruised purple to a fragile shade of gray, and we're sitting on this rooftop at the breaking of the day. The city is still sleeping, but we've been up all night trying to memorize the feeling in the fading streetlight. We passed around our stories like a secret sacred cup, about the lives we're leaving and the ones we're making up. The future is a question mark, a whisper and a dread, and the silence is as heavy as the words we haven't said. We're waiting on the edge of what we're all about to be, a slow and quiet moment for only us to see. The sun is coming up now,
and it's coming all too fast. A silent toast to moments that we never thought would last. Faces of my friends illuminated now by a light that promises a future but doesn't tell us how. We're all afraid to be the first to make a move, to leave, just clinging to this moment, this collective shared reprieve. This isn't a goodbye, it's just a turning of the page. We're actors leaving one by one from a well-beloved stage, and the bond we have between us is the only thing that's real, the only thing the coming light can't possibly conceal. The first bird sings, the new day brings 1,000 things. The sun is warm after the storm. A brand new form. The metal bin is cold tonight, the air is sharp and still. I've got a box of paper ghosts, a promise to fulfill. Each envelope a memory, each line a different year. It's time to finally let them go and quiet all the fear. I read a final paragraph of words that used to burn. A lesson in a language that I no longer need to learn. The ink is faded on the page, a ghost of what was said. A conversation with a person who is living in my head. the story and the beginning of my piece, watching all the words I loved become a masterpiece of cease. Photograph, the smiles begin to curl. Releasing you and releasing me from this forgotten world. It isn't done with anger, and it isn't done with hate. It's just a quiet recognition that we've passed our expiration date. The heat upon my face feels like a different kind of sun, a warmth to signify that this long chapter's truly done. I'm not destroying history, I'm just setting it all free. And in the space that's left behind, there's finally room for me. The last page burns, the lessons learned, a corner's turn, the embers glow and fade, a debt is paid. I'm not afraid. The roar is just an echo now, a phantom in my ears. The final bow is taken after all these years. I'm sitting at the mirror with the grease paint and the glare, and the person staring back at me is a stranger waiting there. The flowers on the table have begun to wilt and brown, a beautiful reminder of the last time in this town. For 20 years I've played the part, I've sung the songs I've moved, and with every single curtain call I've been completely entranced and soothed. smile that was painted on my face, and with it goes the glamour, the illusion and the grace. Beneath it all are just the lines of laughter and of stress, the map of a long journey in this beautiful grand mess. I wonder who I'll be tomorrow when the sun begins to rise, without the script, without the stage, without these searching eyes. The show was for the audience, they saw what they should see, but this last slow moment in the silence, this one is just for me. The costumes on the hanger, no more passion, no more anger, just a quiet, gentle clangor of a closing dressing room door. Not an artist anymore, just the person from before.
The house is full of boxes, making mountains in the hall. My toys are in a plastic bag, I'm not allowed to call this place my home for very long. That's what my mother said. There's a different kind of quiet living in my head. My room is mostly empty now, it echoes when I speak. The monster in the closet has gone off to find a new place to sleep. The grown-ups move like giants in a sad and hurried way. They're folding up the life we had and packing it away. I'm twirling in the dust motes in the sunlight on the floor, 'cause I don't know what is happening or what we're leaving for. It feels like the end of something I don't understand, a giant silent story from a faraway grown-up land, and I'm just a tiny character in the palm of its big hand. My dad is taking down my swing, the one out in the yard. He isn't even whistling, and he's breathing very hard. I'm watching from the window with my chin up on the sill. The world is getting bigger, and it's strangely, oddly still. They say we'll have a new house with a different, better door, but will it know my secrets like the one I had before? Will it know how to hold the light? Will it know how to hold the sound of all the happy memories we made on this old ground? A box is taped, my world's reshaped, a great escape, or so they say. Let's play today, and then away. painting everything with pain. That isn't really painful, just a quiet, deep-set ache for all the sleeping towns outside and for my own heart's sake.
You can't stop a train from running. You can't hold back the night. You just have to trust the journey and the dim interior light.
This time wasn't a station, it was the motion and the speed. And planting my feet somewhere new is the only thing I need.
The rhythm of the track. There's no turning back. The car is swaying. The wheels are saying it's all okay. It's all okay. Fading away.
The rain is falling sideways, the streetlights are a smear. Got one last coin here in my hand and a heart that's full of fear. This plastic booth, my sanctuary, a bubble in the night. I know your number like a prayer in the dim and yellow light. I know you won't pick up the phone, you're probably not there. You're likely in a different world, breathing different air. But I need to hear it ring, a final hopeful sound on the other end of the line, in that quiet, hollow ground. This is the last phone call, a communion with the tone, a conversation with a ghost I can't leave well enough alone. Each ring's a wave of memory, a wave of what we were, the end of our connection in a painful static blur. Just a final silent message that I needed to confer. I remember late night talking when the world felt ours to keep. We'd whisper all our secrets while the city was asleep. Your voice was my foundation, the compass and the guide. Now all I have's this receiver with the emptiness inside. Maybe it's a coward's way to say goodbye like this, to a disconnected number with a phantom final kiss. But it's the only way I know how to let the story end, to hang up on the person who was my very best of friends. The coin drops down, the saddest sound in town. I hang it up, I've had enough. The line is dead, the words unsaid are in my head.
The sign upon the front door is a final painted word, the saddest piece of poetry this town has ever heard. The bell above it's silent now, it's waiting for the last time a customer will enter and become a part of the past. The shelves are breathing stories in the paper and the glue, 1,000 different authors and the ghost of me and you. We built this place on passion, on the turning of a page, and now we're in the final act upon a closing stage. We're walking through the aisles of a world we have to leave, a final dusty chapter for the stories we believe. Every spine is a memory, every cover is a friend, the beautiful, nostalgic and inevitable end, the end of a dream that we can no longer defend. I run my fingers over titles that I know so well by heart, the ones that saved me and the ones that tore my world apart. There are notes tucked in the margins from a reader I don't know, a secret conversation from a long, long time ago. They say that no one reads now, that it's all about the screen, but they don't know the magic of the places in between. The lines of text, the weight of words, the comfort and the lore. And when we lock this place tonight, it won't exist here anymore. The last book sold, a story's told, growing old, the dust motes spin. Where do I begin to let the new world in? The robes are all identical, a sea of blue and black. We're standing on the precipice and there is no turning back. The speeches echo in the hall of futures bright and bold, but we're all just thinking of the stories that are getting old. We're signing yearbooks on the grass with promises to keep. Don't ever change, we write while sowing secrets that are deep, that we're all about to scatter like the dandelions in May. And we'll never be together in this exact same way. This is the graduation march, a walk to our goodbyes, with hope for our tomorrows reflected in our eyes. We throw our caps up to the sky, a final joyful flight crowd, the ones who saw me through. The late night study sessions, the crazy things we do. We were a constellation, a pattern in the sky. And now we're falling stars, about to learn how to fly.